Time then for the compound men's final. We'll listen to the introduction from the event itself.
On target number 1, representing the Netherlands, Mike Schloesser. On target number 2, representing Slovakia, Jozef Bosansky.
So it's Netherlands against Slovakia. Netherlands on number 1.
Shooting first on target number 1, Mike Schloesser.
And Mike Schloesser will go first. Hugely experienced and, well, world number 2.
Reigning Hyundai Archery World Cup champion, former world champion 2013. But his opponent here, Bosansky, he sneakily qualified for the World Cup final in 2019. Came out of nowhere, didn't medal at any event, and then he was on the list when we were looking at the ranking points because he was so consistent. So interesting match, this one.
So now we can see what if the conditions have changed. It'd be interesting to see what pace they start with as well. Well, what a fantastic first shot from Mike Schloesser of the Netherlands.
9.
Bosansky with a 9. So all square.
Yeah, we talked about in the compound women's match all the arrows landing low and right. Bosansky's gone left, directly left. I don't know if the wind's changed, but Mike as well. All impacts landing left of that central X-ring in the target.
10.
So all square after the first end, matching each other, arrow for arrow. And I thought with Mike Schloesser, that first one's right in the centre, that centre 10, I thought, wow, he's really onto something in this match. But as you say, started to pull left. And you'd think that, you know, if you get a 10 in your first arrow, you're not going to change anything. So maybe it was the breeze. But look at the arrow now. It's completely, the flag, I should say, you know, it's completely limp there. So a sign, I think, of just how changeable the wind conditions are.
Yeah, and let's not forget how difficult shooting 50 meters is as well. You know, it's misleading in archery. You get a close-up shot of the archer, then you get a close-up shot of the target, and that range is still 50 meters away. I mean, when you're aiming down range, when you look at the target, it's no bigger than a pinhead. I mean, there is obviously a distinct level of skill involved here, and it's important that you deliver as well as aim in the right place. It's not easy, and it's easy to miss.
Mike Schloesser going first again, all square, 28 points apiece. Another great arrow from him, 27 years old from the Netherlands, up against this man, Jozef Bosansky, 44 years old. Chris, is this one of those sports where age helps or hinders?
Compound archery in particular, experience helps, and I'm not sure it has anything to do with age. Mike comes from an archery family. He's been shooting since he was young enough, old enough to hold a bow, age 4 or 5. He was fantastic as a junior. Won the world championships before he was a senior at the age of 21, and you can see how he delivers in these big fields and these big moments. Just a great group there in this second end, 3 10s.
It's a 9-10 liner.
Yeah.
Difficult to say. We have to wait the official confirmation.
So Schloesser takes the lead and that second end by 2 points. Bosansky on 56 now to 58 for the Dutchman.
There was an arrow on the left of the 10 ring from Bosansky. I think his second that the judge will take a look at, but I think it will be a clean and quick check, not a difficult decision. I think it's out, so it'll stay with a 2-point deficit for Bosansky, which is not insurmountable with 3 ends and 9 arrows to go, but it's not easy, especially against someone like Mike Schloesser.
I notice the coaches stay, at the opposite end of the range from the targets here. They don't go and do they check? Are they checking what the officials are marking?
They're checking downrange, but not the coaches. You've got the coaches standing behind, and then there's agents at the target end that represent the archers, and they'll check the points and make sure that the right things are written down on the score sheet. But it's the judge's decision to choose the arrow values as we head into end 3.
So end 3 with Mike Schloesser, a 2-point lead for the Dutchman. So can Jozef Bosansky here close that 2-point gap? Good start. They seem to have got a measure of the conditions now.
That's a difficult one. That will need a measure from the judge. Still very, very quick, these two archers are shooting.
10, 30 points.
Obviously, as I say that, Bosansky takes a long time at full draw. Looks like Mike's going to take his time over this last shot as well.
10.
Worth it for Bosansky.
29 or 30 for Mike Schloesser. There's a questionable arrow. The second one is
So some good arrows from Bosansky. He's closed that 2-point gap to 1 point now. So Mike Schloesser on 87, Bosansky on 86.
Well, it does depend on that. As cumulative compound scoring normally is, but that judge took a closer look at that top arrow, and now Mike's agent is as well. I'm unsure whether that's going to be marked up to a 10 from the 9. It's a difficult one on the top of that 10 ring. If it does, he'll keep his 2-point advantage. Mike talking to his coach, very experienced compound archer in his own right, Peter Elzinger, now a member of the coaching staff at the Netherlands National Training Center.
Target number 2 still shoots first as he's trailing by 1 point.
So it looks like that score holds, 87-86.
Bosansky just chipped away a little bit. It is, as we say, easier to chase in compound archery. When you're winning, you can't miss. When you're trailing, you've got nothing to lose.
Here's N4. There's the trailing archer. Bosansky goes first this time. So 10. So best start possible for chasing Bosansky. And you're quite right about them having slowed down a little bit from the start of the match. They're taking more time to line themselves up.
10.
As the pressure builds, as we get to the closing stages, the back end of this 15-arrow match, they are going to slow down. They're going to be taking more time. The pressure builds, the muscles tighten up.
10.
It's important to keep that rhythm, though. You don't want to let things stop. You don't want to be up there too long and get fatigued.
9, 29.
It's a 9, so Schloesser stays in the lead by a point.
1 point going into the 5th end.
He'd want a bigger lead going up against Jozef Bosansky in those 3 arrows, especially with this wind. You don't know if one's going to catch you and a gust and just send you out into the 8 ring. 1 point lead is very, very attainable. If Jozef Bosansky can put a little bit of pressure on Mike, we know that Mike's weaknesses tend to rear their heads when he's under pressure in the final arrows of a match. This will be a good test of his mentality and his focus at the start of this long season, when he'll go into the World Cup looking to defend that champion title he won nearly 2 years ago in Moscow.
So we're building up to the climax then. It's the final end of this gold medal match in the compound men's. Well, we often say it's all about handling the pressure in archery, isn't it? And there's just 1 point in it for the gold medal in this first kind of significant tournament of the season.
Yeah, it's not the most important event on the calendar, but it is an early one, and setting down a marker, setting down a level, it's important. An expectation for the season. Bosansky's got the option here. If he puts the pressure on Mike, he can still force this one. It's not done and dusted.
So it's a 9 for him, so he's dropped a point. 10 for Schloesser gives him a 2-point lead, and gets it. And that's going to be difficult to catch now for Bosansky. 2 arrows left.
9.
Another 9.
9, 10 line, it's a 10.
Was that a 9 or a 10?
Difficult to tell.
Final arrow for Bosansky.
10. 28 points.
So it was a 10 for the Slovakian.
And it's a 9. 29 points. 145 points will be, because that 9 asterisk is...
We've been sensitive. We marked that arrow.
Yeah, listening to the judge out there, it ended at 145 points. So, sorry, Chris, I interrupted you. You were about to explain that.
Yeah, we've been conservative. We've measured that down to a 144. It doesn't matter if that arrow's marked up to a 9 to a 10 from a 9, because Mike Schloesser did enough with that last arrow 9. Bosansky couldn't put the pressure on in that final end. Shot two 9s, too many 9s, to really pressure Mike, and it's a quick and easy win for the reigning Hyundai Archery World Cup champion.
The winner is Mike Schloesser.
So congratulations to the Dutchman, Mike Schloesser. He wins gold. And earlier today, by the way, Porec of Turkey took the bronze medal.
Tournament for you, 2nd place in the qualification, 2nd place in the final.